homebound, quiet child makers, compared to business owners, mothers, and leaders. Parallels of women that seem to be from completely different universes, yet are only a couple hundred years apart. Hello, Year 11s. My name is Summer Kendall, and I'm here to invite you on a journey throughout history and to look at the continuously changing perceptions of women throughout history. The original Much Ado About Nothing, written by William Shakespeare in 1598, and the retold version by David Nichols in 2005. It does sound a bit boring, doesn't it? When I first studied these texts, I couldn't help but think when it would all be over. But with me now being in the shoes of the narrator, I hope to enlighten those solemn faces and reflect on the shifts between context in past and present society, using scenes from both texts to pack me up. Throughout this tutorial, we will dive deeper into how, as an audience, the ideas of women are reflected upon us in these different eras, and how, even though both texts are created hundreds of years apart, narratives of the past will always signpost to the future. Let's travel back to 1598. We're heading to the theatre in our finest stockings and feathered hats to watch the newly released Shakespearean play, Much Ado About Nothing, completely ready to be shaped by the obsessive view on the appearance and over-sexualization of women. Audiences of past and present have always been connected to literature through the portrayal of characters through a multitude of time periods, carrying with them the oppressive but varying opinions. I do hope that you would already know the characters in the play, but if not, do not fret, for I shall introduce you to the starring ladies, starting off with our lovely Lady Beatrice. Witty, outspoken, and cynical are all words I use to describe her. I wonder if you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you. Not enough words can be used to describe my shock at the open representation of such a bold woman in that era. You would hope to believe that as history progressed, Beatrice would only just become an even stronger role model. Right? Wrong. Throughout the reimagined play, Beatrice remains the same with her bold personality, but in the end is minimized to a woman vying for the approval of others. Allow me to prove my point. In the reimagined play, our cynical Beatrice is a part of a scene in the bathroom. It's not weird, don't worry, where she overhears Hero and her friends' deceiving acts, declaring Benedict's undying love. Have you noticed she's getting these lines, like little bit of wrinkles, from sneering all the time? Why did that specific line have to be mentioned? Was it in order to limit Beatrice to finding and wishing for the approval of Benedict? As soon as this is said, our beautiful and witty Beatrice is left to wallow in the thought of, am I only worth something because I'm beautiful? For such a recent film, it seems Shakespeare is still weaving his forgotten ways, the way the tables have turned. Interestingly enough, Shakespeare, however, did not mention much towards Beatrice's appearance, and yet still managed to give her the same ending as any typical story, relying on the opinions of others to validate her own self-worth. Crazy, isn't it, to think that even in the reimagined play, Beatrice's struggles are only more complex instead of eased. As mentioned earlier, narratives not only connect us to our past, but also signpost to the future, forever containing opinions on female identity throughout the ages. The constant change in opinions directed towards honor, reputation, and individuality drives the morality of each character, building an even stronger wall between the equality of men and women. Now we introduce our second lady hero, who is portrayed as a submissive, obedient female, with the control over her honor evident from her father and fiancé, Claudio. Give not this rotten orange to your friend, she's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Here, Hero is being belittled by her soon-to-be husband Claudio, as the revelation of her assumed purity was found to be a lie. Why is a woman's worth tied to her purity? Honestly, lines like this make me want to go back to Shakespeare and give him a piece of my mind. But unfortunately, I cannot. Claudio's willingness to shame Hero publicly demonstrates the harsh consequences of violating social norms. Her chastity and worth were only deemed valuable by a man. Compared to Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare, David Nicholls' reimagined version gave Hero the opportunity to speak up against Claudio's outburst against her assumed impurity. It's amazing how quickly a woman's reputation can be destroyed. This moment of realization made Hero understand just how fragile her reputation and career was against a male. Despite the evolutionized opinions, however, in David Nicholls' version, every narrative still held on to those patriarchal ideals, making audiences question how far society has advanced as a whole. The most notable act of this can be found in the party scene, where Hero is dressed as Marilyn Monroe, giving her a completely different light. Many medium shots are used throughout the scene to closely emphasize Hero's new bold and flirtatious persona, while still constraining her to a common sex symbol. I am fond of the new and improved version of Hero. Yes, it is easy to understand how Shakespeare molded her based on his close-mindedness and provided audience. However, times have changed. A lot. I mean, it has been about 500 years, and unless I'm insane, that's a long time. With reputations crumbling down and newly imagined characters only being depicted by men's wandering gaze, these texts have worked and changed so much to convince young girls such as myself to believe that the only way they'll ever succeed is if a man allows them to. Alright folks, don't get too excited that we've reached the end because now I'm going to give you a quick wrap up. David Nicholls works smoothly with Shakespeare to represent much ado about nothing in a sense that we would imagine. It's obvious to see that David Nicholls' reimagined version has evolved, if you can even call it that. Shakespeare's narratives hold the power to inspire change in societal values and attitudes across the ages, with these texts allowing people, young and old, to appreciate just how a comedic Elizabethan era play could evolve into a contemporary piece of literature. Now I will bid goodbye and good luck with all of your studies. Thank you for listening.